Do you know this way we see? There is a box, Noka and it has a sign on it, do not ever put anything inside of this box. And they never do. And I'll tell you what, one day a guy came and did. And I don't know what he was there for. He didn't look like anyone we see in the service. And I said, that guy was probably the stupidest man alive for it. If you know what that is, it's from Vlad Tepes or something, I guess they see it this way. I don't know. Maybe it's from Satan himself. So I don't know what it's for or anything, but they say it has some specific purpose. And they said if you put it in there, someone will come. And someone did come, and he was looking for who. And they said, who was it? And he said, I don't know. I've never seen him before. This isn't something they like very much. If you know what I say, we have to see it. He says, who it is? I don't know who they were. And what do you mean? And now he stands outside the office in all sorts of weather, and he just waits for the guy to return. And they've been waiting there all the time. Why doesn't he come here and see who it is? And they aren't sure who it was, and it's making somebody quite mad. They say there has to be a reason that he's just standing there, and they think that he'd come back. But this isn't something that usually happens in the services. Sometimes guys don't ever come back to 90% of the places they go. And I was wondering what he thinks is going to happen when he comes in. He's just going to grab this guy, they're going to go into the floor of the sky. And he says, don't even look at it. Just, it's not there. You understand me, officer? And I was like, yeah, I understand it. And then I just look at it and go, he is there. And I don't see it to you. Was that fine? He goes, no, not really. I get it. They told me one day, while I was quite under the drink, that it's from Lequer, which means it's from before the way we see it here. And he said, that one in particular is just for a specific army type. We don't see it. Ooh. They said this army, it has to be pruned by collect. And they say it has to be the one way they see, and this is that they sell their souls for it. Only in this way can they see that they are a way they go to war and die. Otherwise, they are not at peace to it. So I was checking around, and there are some of these guys, and they don't ever come in for any purpose. So I said, oh, it's supposed to be one of them, and he just came in on accident, or somebody tricked him or something. So we were looking around, and we looked here, and we looked there, and there was a guy that walked in, and we were waiting for him to put something in the box and tell him not to, and he doesn't, and he looks around, he goes, where is the guy that's usually standing there? And now we don't see it. So what happens is one day he's there, and the next day he's not, and we were wondering exactly what happened. Well, it turns out he just decided to take anyone, and they figured out it was this roughy airman that nobody really knew around. And we said, well, where did he come from? They said he was from Gomorrah. And they said, where the fuck is Gomorrah? So they were asking for a long time, and they said he came from up, and they was just like, yep, this is the one. Because maybe he was similar in any way, shape, or form to the one he saw, and he can trick who he sees to it. So you're asking, what does this system have to do with this? Well, this system is, in fact, something that they had and we get. In fact, it is the system, this exact system. If you don't know what this is, well, you see it now. It's in Resident Evil now because they don't know how to see it anymore. If you know what this was and who this is, you have to bring this forward. This person must be retrieved so we can see who the man from Gomorrah was. If we don't get this done, we are going to be out of outfits. And I mean that seriously. We have a system, and it's sitting, and no matter what, there has to be a way we sit into it a new way. We have to go through these in order in the USA Army. They have to be completed. Somehow someone has managed to retrieve our army from not having an exoframe, and we need it for this conflict. That's what they see. And they said if we can't have it, we're going to be deep shit because they are going to have big shit, and we aren't going to be able to fight it good. So I've been worried for a long time exactly what's been going on here. And now I knew they don't have it before this certain date. And they would have it, and he sees that, and this isn't what it is. And it's something else, and they say it's that one. And they say he was the one who did it, because he doesn't know anyways, we don't see it. They were worried about this one for a long time, and you see this one there? Yeah, this is one of the early Kylers, and they say, no one can see this but his men when they have the brain juices. And they say this is this exact diagrams for it, and they say it has to be followed this exact way. We see it without any switches being thrown incorrectly to it. I know, there's some way I don't see it, and we see it, and we know this way we see it, and it's not some way we say it. We see it. Here we are. We're looking at it right now. And you tell me what it is, and I don't see it. And you know exactly what it was. This is exactly what they see when they see where they see it. Let me see here. There has to be a way to see it now. You know what this one was. We were asking for this, and we see that, and I said, where is it? I wanted these. This is exactly the type of stuff I'm in here for, and now I don't get it. And they were said, oh, it's because of this. And then they showed me that diagram, and I said, son of a bitch, this better not be exactly what I thought it was. Ever since this thing started, I knew it was going to be one of these motherfucking guys that did it. So here we are, sitting out here, and we're like, well, we'd be training on it today. He says, yeah, I noticed that. And he's sitting there, just playing around with his regular gear, and he goes, you know what? I wonder who can see. Maybe there's someone who can see right now. This has become a thing of infamy to some of us. They said, if we don't have by this day, I'm going to quit. You ain't going to get me out there for nothing. I know what they got, and I ain't going to get seen by something like that when I ain't carrying no gear myself. They said, this ain't going to be no good war no matter what we see. I said, you better get my shit, because I know exactly what it is. I better have 10 of these right behind me, and I ain't going to lose. But if I ain't got it, I ain't going to show up to the party. I asked someone, and he said, boy, that's some bitch shit. The one I got's way better, and I can't get it until then. And it's going to be way too late then, and that's all I have to say about it for right now. There was one, and he said, I can build this motherfucker, and I'll tell you what, if I did, they'd lose their motherfucking hats. So I was going through it, and I said, well, what do we see? And he said, it ain't shit. And I said, yeah? And he said, yeah, it ain't shit to me, and I don't see shit, so it's shit 3. And I don't like shit 3 sounds. And he says, maybe it's shit 2.8, 8.3, I don't know, let's see. He says, do you think there's any way one of these guys did this to me? So this one in particular, I think it's that way. These guys think this is all part of a scheme by the ancient Chinese. One of us said, you know what? It's just the timing is off. Forks.